130 birds came off that trailer, and every one of them looked half-plucked. 8 weeks later, the snake sightings on her property stopped. Not dropped, stopped. And the man who laughed loudest was standing at her fence, buying eggs. She paid $520 for birds nobody else would take. If it failed, she lost the stand that was feeding her. So stay with me, because what cleared that land isn't what anyone in that county guessed. Wanda Kessler was 52, 6 years a widow, on 11 acres outside Hollis Fork, Georgia. The produce stand at the end of her driveway was the whole operation. Then the snakes moved into the tomato rows. Georgia is the second most snake-diverse state in America, and copperheads cause the majority of its venomous bites. 2 of her customers got bitten in one summer, neither seriously. It didn't matter. Weekend traffic fell by more than half. Repellent granules, mothballs, a paid service that caught 1 snake in 6 weeks. Then the county extension office told her the truth. She didn't have a snake problem. She had a rodent problem, and the rodents were feeding the snakes. Quick thing before we go on. If somebody ever laughed at an idea of yours that turned out to be right, drop your city in the comments. I read them all. That winter, a roof leak forced her to move an old cedar chest. Inside, wrapped in flour sackcloth, was a snuff tin. Inside the tin, a folded sheet of ledger paper. Her great-aunt Audie Fitch's handwriting, dated 1971. 40 guinea fowl, kept, the note said, because they clear a yard faster than any cat. A sketch of a fenced run. And 1 line at the bottom of the page. Not 1 snake bite reported on this place in 9 years. She told 3 people. Her son called it a lot of loud birds for a maybe. The extension agent had never seen guineas clear snakes, and Dale Utley laughed at her in the feed store parking lot. 3 out of 3 said no, which is exactly when the hatchery called. A hatchery 2 counties over was liquidating its breeder flock. $4 a bird because the birds looked terrible. Bald across the neck and wings, patchy, ragged. Wanda bought all 130 before the auctioneer finished his second call. Then she did the thing almost nobody does. She kept a log. March 14th, 2 snake sightings by the tomato beds, same as last year. March 22nd, 40 birds into the outer garden. 1 cornered something in the squash vines, and the whole flock rushed it, screaming. Wanda came running with a hoe, a 4-foot rat snake. It left, and it did not come back. March 29th, 1 sighting. Lost a bird to a fox. April 5th, 0. April 12th, 0. April 26th, 4th straight week. Nothing, including the fence line where the worst of it had been. But 0 isn't the interesting part. Why it went to 0 is... Here's what the whole county got wrong. Guinea fowl don't fight snakes, not really. They'll mob a small one and scream at a big one until it leaves. But a flock of birds does not kill its way through a snake population. What they do is eat the snake's groceries. Mice, voles, ticks, beetles, grubs, the whole ground layer. Extension services say it plainly. Guinea flocks kill and eat mice and small rats. And every wildlife agency gives the same advice about snakes. Take away the rodents and the cover, and the snakes leave on their own. They were never there for her tomatoes. They were there for the mice in her tomatoes. Wanda didn't repel a single snake. She repossessed the food chain. And the reason those birds looked so bad, that's my favorite part. Commercial operations force a molt on purpose. Pull the feed, cut the light, and the whole flock sheds out and resets. It's rough, it's argued about, and it works. Hens come back into a second laying peak with better shells. More than 70% of commercial flocks get molted at some point. Those birds weren't damaged. They were mid-reset. The hatchery sold them at the ugliest hour of their lives, weeks before they were worth the most. By late May, the extension agent walked the property with her, checked his own rodent bait stations, and all but empty, and knelt on clear pasture where a den had been the year before. 2 weeks later, he wrote her rotation up for the county newsletter. Praise source disruption, documented, repeatable. Dale showed up on a Saturday, crouched at the garden fence with a guinea pecking 6 inches from his boot. I'll be damned, he never apologized. He bought 4 dozen eggs on his way out. By the next spring, she'd sold breeding pairs to 6 farms in 3 counties, and she was teaching her granddaughter to read the log. So here's what I want from you. Tell me the one old family method somebody swore by that everybody else called nonsense. Did it work? Put it in the comments with your city. If this one found you at the right moment, The story on your screen is the closest thing I've got to it. Next week, a man in Kentucky spent $400 on a weed his neighbors were paying to spray off their own land. 3 years later, they're trying to buy it back from him by the pound.